Art Thibert's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too is a 60-page, 9x12 hardbound book that will be printed on thick glossy stock paper and is a compilation of artwork from award-winning artist, Art Thibert. This book is filled with images that come from Art's Marvel, DC, Image and Comicsgate work. That includes convention doodles, commissions, creator-owned IPs and pop culture subjects that Art has brought to life with his masterful draftsmanship. Art Thibert's signature style is both lyrical and meticulously realized. The mastery of craft, seen in his work, owes itself to his 40 years in the comic industry, as well as viewing life through his own love of the art form itself. Fans of art prints have the opportunity to back one or both of the mini-print tiers. Both are stunning collections of work that you can back individually, or together as a bundle. Art Thibert's Oodles of Doodles and Other Stuff Too. Back it now, on Indiegogo.
Hello everybody and welcome to Shanth Enjeti Art. My name is Shanth Enjeti, coming to you live from the heart of Lovecraft Country in the birthplace of American religious liberty. This is going to be another live painting stream, an art stream. We have so much stuff to talk about. There's a lot of exciting things going on, especially the announcement of the date of the launch of the Second Chance campaign. The sign up is in the description for Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, the new printing of the book, as well as a chance for those of you who have the means and the willpower to get a first printing. There's only a little bit of those left, and of course, the premiere of the art edition, the art-only edition of the book that so many of you guys have been asking for. It is here. It is upon us, and I am looking forward to it. So much stuff, making changes on the channel in terms of just doing some new design work, and we're going to be talking about all that stuff today. But first, let me see who we've got in the chat. We have got, this is the first one I'm coming to, Fritzy Schnitzel. Cheers, everyone. I got my Nosfero book last week. Looks gorgeous. Can't wait to read it. I am so glad to hear that. It was packed by myself, bagged and boarded by myself, so from my house to yours, my friend, I'm so glad to see it. Channel member, Mark's Music Obsession, launching August 20th. I want my books August 20th. That's exactly right. That's right. I know. Well, it's all for you, man. It's all for you. Paulus Arts is here. It's great to see you. Jordan Horst is here. Of course, we've also got, let's see who else we have. We have Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. It is great to see you. I know we had channel member Stephen Rockwood hanging out before. It is great to see you, Stephen Rockwood. And let's see who else we've got. People are smashing that like. We've got Doc Brewski in the house. Hail to you, Doc Brewski. Can I get one of the remaining first now, or will it be... let me see. I can't read. Will it be part of the total package? It will be part of the... It'll be part of the launch of the book. So that first printing is going to be one of the higher tiers. There will be... I'm still chewing over the head sketch thing because those things are crazy, a lot of work. So there's still some planning going on, but there will be first editions of the book available. There's not a lot left. So everybody who ordered that and backed that, hang on to those, because those are going to be worth some money, folks. And thank you guys so much. Yeah, we're going to paint Gen X Catholic. It's great to see you, my friend. What is up? Oh my gosh. Is it McKenoid? You're a good businessman. Well, you know, you never know. Chance would be a fine thing, wouldn't it? Mark's Music Obsession says part. That's right. Yeah, there will be an opportunity. Mike likes tacos. It's great to see you, my friend. So let's get painting. Let's get talking about some fun stuff going on. So, first and foremost, there have been a lot of exciting things happening in Comicsgate. There's been some incredible launches. I don't know if any of you guys were there for Ethan's launch on Sunday. Sorry, I'm not talking at the mic because I'm moving around like crazy. But there were a lot of exciting stuff happening in and around the launch of the Rainbow Brute action figure. If you guys want to drop that link, you can. I have a link to the Inglorious Rex sign-up. And I have links to Michael Bancroft's book, The Lucent 2, Painted Death, Eric Weathers' awesome book, Battle Brick Road 2, if you haven't backed it yet. Graham Nolan's book is in demand, Joe Frankenstein 3. Let's see, what else have I got in there? Andy Smith's book, of course, KOR-DRATH, The Awakening. Lots of exciting stuff going on, guys. And I see a celebrating 10, has it been 10 months already, Mark? Mark's Music Obsession celebrating 10 months. Of course I want what has to be titled The Whole Pizza Package. It will happen, my friend. So don't you worry. And I have to send some cheerleaders your way every time you send a super chat on this channel, or you have a member milestone. You're going to get some of this. Charge! With, dare I say, a side of this. Charge! Hail to you, Mark. I know you're eager to back on day one. I am eager for you to back on day one. So here's the thing, right? I have been, now that Nosfero is out there, we're getting into some really exciting times right now. So one of the things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking, not today, but soon, I'm going to be talking about the story and some of the groundwork of the stuff that's in the story and some of the themes and the things that I'm excited about. And as it's a self-contained story, it's not so much that, I mean, the work that I did on Nosfero the Crypt Walker is work that's going to continue in this book right here, which is going to be made possible by that Second Chance campaign and all of the other things that are going to be going on around that. That is how we're going to make this kind of thing happen. But the Second Chance campaign is basically the chance to jump in on book one that introduces you to the world, introduces you to what I'm creating here at Shanth Enjeti Art, the thing I'm excited to do, which is I want to create heroes for the horror genre. So heroes in the grand tradition of, Van Helsing, but the comic book versions of, characters that stand on their own 2 feet. That's what Nosfero is. And so I'm going to be introducing new characters, new adventures, all of this stuff into these, gorgeously painted books. And it's up to you guys to help me, and to myself, of course, to help get the word out about what we're doing here, because none of this is possible without support, and we need a lot of support to keep doing this stuff. So I thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you hit that like, make sure you ring that bell, because YouTube only cares if you click that bell for notifications. That's how they know how to get that video out there. So let's talk a little bit about how unbelievable it's been to see those last books go out, to see you guys checking it out. And kind of it just sort of hit me, when I'm going, okay, so it's time for the Second Chance campaign. The date is August 20th. Now, the reason why the date is August 20th is because that is H.P. Lovecraft's birthday. So that's why we ended up on that date. And this book and this work owes a lot to him. Ellie is here. Good to see you, brother. I got Nosfero. Amazing work. The details are mind-blowing. Don't miss out on the Second Chance. God bless you, and thank you so much for that, Ellie. I appreciate that. More viewers than likes. Smash it, people. Well, thank you so much. From your lips to God's ears, Mark. So this was the whole idea when I started this book. I had an idea, and now it's kind of taking over the channel, for all these things I'm passionate about. Hammer horror movies. The idea of optimism and hopefulness and faith overcoming evil and good being stronger and more powerful than evil. All these values that I think are responsible for the best stuff in humanity. And then the idea and the question was, is there going to be an audience that wants to back it? And the production of the book, the printing of the book, the shipping of the book, there's so much involved in it. It's such an immense process to get all of that stuff done that I really hadn't taken a second to stop and appreciate just that we're here, that this idea that was once a dream has gotten to this particular point where we now have books in hands and we have the Second Chance campaign coming up. So I've been really excited about that and thinking about what I want to do to make the most out of what I'm doing here at Shanth Enjeti Art. And so I've been working on, for you guys to see right here, this is going to be a special sheet in the Second Chance book. I'm going to do, every time I do a printing, and this is going to be the last time I print book one for a while. I'm not going to do a wild amount of overprinting because I do not have storage to put it in. And I just dug myself out of my last book printing. But every time I do a new printing, if I said that right, I'm going to have a new piece of artwork on the title page. So the first printing of the book is going to be signed. The second printing and every printing after that is going to have original artwork. Just like the first printing of the art edition is going to be able to be autographed, or is going to be autographed. So that's the strategy going forward. But as I started working on this, and this idea of taking the Lovecraftian and silent film era kind of horror aesthetic and storytelling, and making it into a comic with a little bit of sexy Hammer flair, I started to kind of see that world evolve and grow through the creation of Nosfero. So what I've been doing is I've been deep diving into what I want to do for book two, as well as what I want to do in terms of other stories and other things I want to get out there. And so that's the reason why you're seeing Shanth Enjeti Art and painting horrors heroes in the heart of Lovecraft country. Yeah, Paulus Arts, you know what I was talking about. And so here's some of the crazy stuff that's happened this week in terms of this channel and in terms of what we're doing here. So I try to be, as aware of everything in the Lovecraft's world, but I was working over on a stream. I was working on my plans for this channel going forward. I'm just trying to get my shadow off of the painting here. Let's see if this works. Is that going to work? I think it did. All right. So I was over on Graham's channel, and I was talking with Chuck Dixon and Graham Nolan about Joe Frankenstein, because that campaign was closing out its second 30 days. And while I was on that channel, I was talking about all of the bizarre Lovecraft coincidences that are a part of my life, just wild, random coincidences. And I was listing those out, and it seemed completely insane. So even though I refer to this, what I do as painting in the heart of Lovecraft country, which conceivably all of Rhode Island is the heart of Lovecraft country, I found myself wondering if I was actually living in a place that Lovecraft had ever referenced in his books. And so I just did a cursory Google search of Lovecraft and H.P. Lovecraft and locations mentioned in his books to see if I got any hits on where I live. And I really don't even know. You can't make this stuff up. Not only did he write about my town, he wrote about, just in passing, he mentioned, just like in the Shunned House, Lovecraft mentions my first, the first apartment my wife and I lived in when were newlyweds. He mentions, in passing in another story, my neighborhood. And I just sat back and I was like, this is getting ridiculous. This is getting crazy. And one of the things about Lovecraft that really appeals to me is the way that he crafts such a rich description of the unknown and of the images of horror and cosmic horror and all of that stuff. And so the thing is the challenge for Nosfero, and what I wanted to do with this book, is to try to bring as compelling of a vision for good. And with Nosfero, I got a foothold on that. And I'm really, really happy with how this story and how this principle that's guiding my work, with all the fun of Hammer horror movies and Peter Cushing's Van Helsing standing up to evil and his wise words, that's what I wanted to infuse the book in. But what's been unexpected is, on the heels of the story that is book one, where you really get introduced to Nosfero, the language and the way that I understand the nature of good in the things that I'm doing and how I want to distill that or portray that has gotten richer. And it's something that you'll really understand when you get a hold of that book. Let me read what Phil has to say here. Do you ever feel compelled to just walk off into the ocean? Yeah, I do, actually. In the ocean state, it happens. It definitely happens. Yeah, many have said that. My brother-in-law had a joke where he said one day he just wants to drive down to the beach and drive right off into the ocean, that it's an impulse that he fights on the regular, which I always thought was really funny. He's quite the character. But let me see if I can make this happen here. There we go. So yeah, I mean, I started thinking about what would my version of Dracula be. Now, if you've got Nosfero Book 1, the thing you've got, or I should actually call it what it is, Nosfero the Crypt Walker, which is the first self-contained story in all of the future self-contained story. Yes, you got introduced to some characters, much like with Doc Savage, Man of Bronze, where you see, the introduction of the characters. Then you will see a transformation of several of the characters in that story. Their awareness of themselves, but also one of the characters becomes very transformed. And that is one of the things that feeds into the second book. And so I've been sitting around and basically, I don't want to say I've been mapping out a big story, because I take every project I do one story at a time. Because to handcraft, to hand paint these things, and to continue this tradition of handcrafted work, I need you guys' support. I heard a really brilliant story from my friend the other day, and it was about, just the work that goes into what we do. And it was the story of a milliner, or a hat maker, and the hat maker was working in their shop when a woman who was quite wealthy came into his shop and said, I want you to make me a custom hat. And can you make me a custom hat? And the milliner said, of course. And he said, sit down in this chair. And he took out this spool of ribbon, and then with pins and just through his deft handling of the ribbon, he fashioned for her the most breathtaking hat she had ever seen. And the woman was looking at the hat, and her jaw on the floor, and she said, "It's incredible. How much for this hat?" And he said, because this was in Paris, he said 12,000 francs. And she gasped. She said, 12,000 francs? It's just a piece of ribbon. And the milliner kind of sighed for a second. And then he reached down and pulled out the pins until the ribbon collapsed into just that single strand of ribbon it started as. He rolled it up and handed it to her. And he said, "No, madam, the ribbon is free." And for every single one of us who do this work, the most important aspect of it is that we have our supplies, we have our resources and all of that stuff, but it's your appreciation of the finer things, of skilled work, of hand-done stuff that is powering this. We're trying to make you the best work we can. And one of the things that's humbling is that you guys understand, mostly because I think you guys all work in your given trades, and you guys are all very focused, and you're very appreciative, much like myself, of when I see skill in others. You guys are the people who appreciate this and make this stuff possible, and the more that we grow that, the better things can be, because I think that that's what we want. We want excellence, and we want to see excellent things, and we want to see positive things, and we want to return to classical escapism, and that's what I love. I often walk into the Gulf. It's only important to know when to stop. Agreed, yes. So Phil is saying to me here, my glasses are falling, when you live near Innsmouth, it's a very real issue, I'm sure. Thulu calls. Yeah, so is this true? I was going to say that's my favorite book, but I'm going to have to say I think it's my second favorite story of Lovecraft's. I love that story. My first is the Dunwich Horror, but The Shadow over Innsmouth has to be one of the finest stories I've ever read, I've ever experienced. A lot of his stories have a kind of twist ending, oftentimes for the worse, but The Shadow over Innsmouth is such a unraveling, to follow up on the Milner story, but it's such an unraveling of this one character's sense of reality, is all I will say. And it's both terrifying, it's action-packed, there's all of these things that happen in it, and it does what literature can do so incredibly well, and better than a lot of other art forms can do. And so, with me, when I'm sitting down to do comics, I think that that's a huge part of what I'm doing here. I'm thinking about what can I do that comics can do. I'm not trying to make... my aspiration is purely to make handcrafted, painted, beautiful work. And as a result of being where I'm located, it almost sort of feels as though it's just been rather fortuitous that Lovecraft has become such a huge inspiration for me. I was wondering why I couldn't see as much as I wanted to there. Hold on a second. There we go. That's better. Now we zoomed out a little bit. Hey, what is up, Marcus? How are you doing, my friend? It's great to see you. Hail to you, my friend. Oh, thank you so much, Tim Smith. I appreciate it, my friend. I appreciate it. So, yeah, one of the things I've been working on is I was working on the channel member credits yesterday, I think, and the day before, because I just want to make sure that I'm always upping my game. And having Nosfero all shipped off and staring down, the Second Chance campaign for Nosfero the Crypt Walker and the art editions, first chance ever to get an art edition of that book, those will all be signed, much like the first printing of Nosfero, and I cannot wait to launch that campaign. But I sat down and I thought, I want to make sure that my channel member credits, if you're a channel member, your name is in the credits on this channel at the end of every stream. That is the goal. And the reason why that's so important to me is because my Crypt Walkers, my channel members, you guys are the people who support this, much like my backers, the YouTube work that I do. And I appreciate you very much, and I am grateful for you. And I wanted to do something. I never want to kind of rest on my laurels. I wanted to make sure that I did something that would be exciting for you guys to see. And look at that. Just like that, we're going to get a little bit of lighting. Bob Ross appears in my mind all the time. Just like yeah, as he used to say. Everybody is saying their hellos. I love to see it. Channel member Grey Wolf is here. It's great to see you, Grey Wolf. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for all you do. Missed you on Kings last night. You've got Major League Oh, jeez, thank you so much. Fritzy Schnitzel. You can see how I have the immediate reaction to a compliment. I apologize, Fritzy. I'm going to try that again like a normal human being should. So, missed you on Kings last night. You've got Major League talent. What do you... what you need is a wider audience to see that talent. Well, those are very kind words. We'll keep working. We're going to get there, Fritzy. And thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. And make diaphanous gowns with boobs in them. You're good at that. That is the goal. That is always the goal. Working way too hard updating a property's Wi-Fi. Understood. Oh my gosh, yeah. God bless you, Marcus. We need more folks like you. You'll appreciate this. My son was over at a friend's house yesterday, and he was helping him get his computer setup done, because that's the kind of work my son knows how to do. So my son was over there with his over his friend's house, and he was like, "Okay, I've got to, you've got this set up," and he's sending me pictures of this, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, "How are you even able to do this? Like, how are you making that stuff happen?" It's just nuts, absolutely nuts. I don't know how you guys do that stuff, but that's what I mean when I say. Someone who can show up and make, your problems disappear in that way, it's magic. And if they make you a fine hat, thank them and pay the man surely, as they used to say. So, hail to you, Marcus. Don't forget to wish the legendary Dale Keown a happy birthday today. Happy birthday to you, sir, Dale Keown. So, here's my wonderful Dale Keown story. When they launched the all-caps Dale Keown poster book, that was the same stream they launched that on, was the stream I closed out Nosfero the Crypt Walker first printing on. So I just have these great memories of being there with Dale when he launched that and closing out Nosfero. It was a terrific night. I really love Dale Keown's work. And if there's one thing that I want to make sure I say about that too, because I was thinking about how important it is to me to be articulate when talking about other people's work. Sorry guys, there's gonna be some noise here because I really have to move this camera to get my arm in the right place. Excuse me. I was thinking about Dale's work, and I remember saying this to John at one point about Dale. Dale's work is somehow both exceptionally well cartooned and kinetic, but sculptural at the same time. The forms have volume, and you are convinced of their reality. Most people who make things dimensional and sculptural aren't able to do so in a way where they maintain that kinetic quality. And when they do, they're artists like Michelangelo. That's how rare it is. That's how brilliant it is. And so Dale has achieved that. He's in a very rarefied air as an artist and as a creator, and it's something that you just have to have in you, and you have to be able to see, and he sees it. So many happy returns, Dale, and happy birthday. Yeah. I'd rather draw comics, but thanks. Well, yeah, all you gotta do, the thing about drawing comics is, right, and maybe we're doing a better job or a decent job of showing it, but drawing comics, like anything else, is, I don't know how to describe it. The hardest part about it that I found for most people who are interested in doing it, whether it was college students or people that I met, is the sitting in the chair and being able to power through it and get the thing done at every sort of stage of the game. And I think that that's one of those things to why I am so excited that Nosfero is out there and the Second Chance campaign on August 20th is coming up. And it's because you guys who backed the first printing of that book, and those of you guys who were here and knew about it, some of you guys are just finding out about me, obviously, you backed that book with the hope that you were going to get that book, but you had no guarantees. I mean, you guys were backers in the truest sense. You knew I had done 2 art books, but you guys were in there early, and to make and to create a hand-painted comic book takes an extraordinary amount of time. It takes an extraordinary amount of time. And you guys were supportive and patient, but it was like you were in it with me. I think that's a big part of why I like to paint and live stream at the same time. You guys were here. You watched it every step, and you guys are invested in it. And I love that about Comicsgate. What's up? Hello, Cranberry Landers. It's great to see you, my friend. Fantastic to have you here. OG channel member. I love seeing it. Yeah, and John is here as well, John. I think I just saw you. John, welcome. It's great to see you. Yes, that's right. I may still very well be going unless I keel over. You never know. It's only a matter of time. So, yeah, when I got to the end of Nosfero and I kind of rolled into shipping, you know, I'm editing and I'm going back and forth with the letters and things like that and trying to get it ready with Eric Weathers, who was just a tremendous help and just a great person to collaborate with. It was great because I got to kind of see the whole thing come together in this dream of bringing something that's about faith, that's about a world with real horror in it, real stakes, but the stories always have this positive message. That's what I want to do with my time. That's the stuff that excites me and engages me the most as an artist. I'm not interested in, you know, the sort of theater of alienation and that kind of thing. It's not my bag. I want to show people things that you saw with like in Raiders of the Lost Ark or The Last Crusade, where you saw the power of good triumph, and it was just unbelievable. That's what I want. And welcome, Spaceman, channel member. It is great to see you, my friend. So I wanted to talk to you guys, too, about a movie that caught me off guard. I've been talking about it a lot on these streams because it just kind of hit me funny in a good way. So I watched the 1980s Fright Night for the first time. Now, I don't know why it took me that long to see it. I know what made me want to watch it, which was finding out that on an interview with the Grim Life Collective, they were talking to the director and writer of that, as well as the writer of Psycho 2 and the writer-director of Child's Play. And I went, oh my gosh, all these things that I love, he worked on this movie too? I've got to check that out, because I love the genre. And what I was unprepared for in seeing that movie, besides all of the incredible special effects and all of that stuff, and the great performances by, you know, the cast in it, the thing that really hit me with that movie was the element of faith and how it was done in that story. You know, you've got this incredible character who is the, you know, TV personality of the time, who is lovingly named after Vincent Price, and as well as Peter Cushing. And he's an actor. He's not really the Van Helsing character, the vampire hunter. He's just a regular guy. And he finds himself confronted with real vampires. And he's not that character. Welcome, Simply Green channel member. It's great to see you. Melt some faces off. You know what I'm talking about. And this was the thing that was amazing to me about it. He tries to use the cross on the vampire once, and the vampire just laughs. He goes, you have to believe in it. And then the boy, the younger character, who is there in the story, uses the cross, and it works because he has faith in it. So later on in the story, when he's confronting the same vampire, and the vampire says, you fool, don't you know you have to believe in it? And he just sort of pauses and reflects for a moment and then holds the cross up again, and it works. And I thought, wow, that is such a cool message. That people lose faith or don't have faith for whatever reason. But in this story, in this world, it's something that you can reclaim at any age and at any point in your life. And I thought, wow, I did not see that coming. And I thought it was a brilliant story. Yeah, it's really well done. Yep, cross as conduit, 100%. And yeah, and Tim Smith says, I pretty much only watch horror movies. Yeah, I love that genre so much. I love the aesthetics of it probably more than the mechanics. But what I love about the Hammer movies, and what I love about that movie in particular, is it has all of the great Hammer tropes. You know, the big, you know, the kind of creatures, the blood, and, you know, the mythos, and then the, you know, the sexy diaphanous gowns and all of that business. But the thing that it it really has is it has this sincerity that writer-director, I know he has the same name as a rather prominent actor right now, but what writer-director Tom Holland brought to that story. And at 80 years old, he is still sharp and talking about his work, and what an amazing guy he is. Hail Maromi, it's great to see you. How are you doing, my friend? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, when I'm sitting here and I'm planning out what I want to do with Shanth Enjeti art going forward, that is the theme. Painting horror's heroes from, or I should say, in the heart of Lovecraft country. Because H.P. Lovecraft is, again, one of those writers that you can pull from, and I want to make the heroes of horror. And that's tricky because the monsters are so compelling, because the creatures are so compelling, that when you're doing your heroes, I don't want my heroes to be lesser versions or lesser characters. I don't want them to just be regular looking people doing battle with what is right here, my version, my interpretation of a Dracula character who has his own backstory. He has his own rich lore. And if the book 1 of Nosfero, which is really, it is a rapid introduction to this world. I mean, in the best sense, it's you are thrown into this world. You know enough about our world to where in movie history probably to understand the gist of some of it. But it's a story that kind of brings you into it. And that's why the Second Chance campaign is so important. But with everything I do, I want to give a deeper sense of all of that. I want to give a deeper sense of that world. And so for everything I'm doing going forward, I'm going to be coming up with, as I did with book 1, new terminology, new ideas, variations on a theme, so that I can bring you guys something new, exciting, and beautiful, and you guys can get in on the ground floor. There is no book, no matter how, I mean, I can't imagine, getting over 1,000 backers for a book. That is not something, I was shocked. I'll never forget when Michael Bancroft said to me after the launch of Nosfero, he said, "You're going to get like over 500 backers with this." And I was like, "Are you nuts? Are you kidding me?" And so when I hit 660 or whatever it was, I was stunned. I was completely stunned. And but if I were to get to that point, where I did something and I had 1,000 backers, so I have 1,000 and change copies of this book printed up, that is still an incredibly limited edition book. For everybody who backed Nosfero, the first book, there was not a massive overprinting for that book. So there are easily less than 800 copies of that book in existence. So if you're one of the 660 backers, and some of you guys ordered 2 books, the 2-book perk, you have a rare book on your hands. So hold on to it, take care of it, and, enjoy it, or flip it when you're ready. But these books are going to be very, very rare. And I love that. I love the fact that everything I do, even the second edition, is going to have things in it the first book doesn't have in terms of the title page. And I'm going to name every edition of the book that I do. But I'm not printing book 1 again for a while. So make sure you get in there. I have 5 or 6, says channel member Admiral Wackass. Admiral, I don't know what it is, man, but you always put a smile on my face when I see you in the chat, my friend. It's great to see you. Man, this stretch to August 20th is going to be painfully slow. Mark, I promise you, it will fly by. I'll be streaming more and we'll have some fun. We chatted Lovecraft's non-cosmic horror. Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be had there. There's a lot to be had. He was just a solid writer. Absolutely solid writer. And knew how to put together a story in a way that was compelling. He did some real page-turners. And I think that, I don't know, everything this channel's about and everything that I've been, and my work is about, and what I'm doing at Shanth Enjeti Art, I was sitting here and I was thinking to myself, I'm tired of this very saccharine and weak portrayal of good. Like, good is this thing. Good is so much more powerful and so much more, I don't know, it's stronger than evil. And it's seldom represented well. It's very difficult to do. And I think that for me, that is the challenge that excites me when I put my work together, is how to make interesting heroes, both visually and show how exciting good could be, because Peter Cushing did that in the Hammer horror movies. And, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster did that in the, with their superheroes, and so did Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. That's what we need to see. And there was a time when we used to tell stories of the counterbalancing force of faith versus the forces of evil, and we need that. We need that. When people get Nosfero, one of the things I've been really moved by hearing people talk about is just how it's a positive story. It's a life-affirming story. I don't know about you guys, but I need that as a motivator for what I do, not cynicism and not negativity. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not really good at faking optimism and positivity. I'm really feeling it right now. I'm feeling a surge of passion and excitement for what we're doing here in this space. And to me, it's infectious. It's infectious. Welcome, Emo Trash. It's good to see you, my friend. Yeah, writing horror good. Not everyone can name cats. That's true. Yeah. Well, it's so... Wait, hold on a second. But to be able to tell a story about a single character and a single ghoul, yes, indeed. Absolutely right. I got 2 trading cards, a poster board, a cool bookmark with my copy, fun stuff. Yes, indeed. Yeah, and a lot of that stuff, that's going to be the time it is there. So I'm going to come back to, yes, indeed. Yeah, I mean, and it's so funny because those are the things. What blows my mind about it, Moromi, is those are the things that are, sadly, as we saw with the changing of the Howie Award, that I believe it was, what's his name? Larry Correia, right? Who was talking about that Lovecraft has been distilled into just those aspects of his work. And what's a shame is that his story structure and the things that he wrote and were amazing. And yeah, of course, Lovecraft had his share of prejudices. He was also a very confused man, to put it mildly, and just in terms of life. I mean, that guy's childhood was horrific. I mean, it was not a good thing. But the thing for me about it is that I don't know. I think that the reason why he was able to write horror the way he did, and The Shadow over Innsmouth is, if you haven't read it, guys, I did not understand the fear of the eugenics folks and the people with deep racial prejudices and fears of these things until I read The Shadow over Innsmouth. And if you ever want to read Lovecraft and almost read a story that's showing you a picture inside of his greatest fears, read The Shadow over Innsmouth and you will go, oh, wow. So that's what you were afraid of. Holy cow. Oh, thank you so much, Cranberry Landers. I appreciate it. Yes, indeed. Yeah, guys, thank you guys for being in here. Please make sure you hit that like. We got 50 people watching in the combination of X and YouTube, and 20 people here on YouTube. Guys, make that like happen. I appreciate it so much. And but yeah, the more I read about Lovecraft died at the age of 47, I believe it was. And I'm gonna be 40 or 46, was it? I can't remember, but I'm gonna be 48 soon. I think it was 47. And the thing that gets me about that is, in his brief time on this planet, he redefined and articulated the nature of horror. And we need these artists, these brilliant, creators and storytellers, to come along and champion that level of quality. Which is to say, they have to have people around them. Thank God for Comicsgate. You have to have peers around you with whom you can be inspired and see amazing work, because that's the fuel that drives us. Which is why I have so many links to other campaigns. If you go to Support Independent Creators section in the description, you will find no shortage of books to support and check out. But that's one of the things I think was that Lovecraft really benefited from. He read copious amounts of different writers' work, science, he studied everything, and that's kind of one of the things that I think brings the magic to the work that we do. I mean, to do a giant painting and a book of paintings is just a monolithic, task, or not monolithic. I'm looking for a word. It's daunting as a task to do. And to get to the other side of that, I don't know how to word it, but I just feel so invigorated. I remember saying to my wife, and she asked that I not, but I said, I can die now. I've made this book. I said, and she said, please don't. And I said, okay, I won't. But I said, this is the thing that I've been trying to create and trying to make in my work for so long. And that this beautiful, independent, fully painted traditional comic book was able to be made because of this incredible opportunity that we have called Comicsgate is overwhelming, and you incredible backers. I mean, every single package for Nosfero, the first printing, and very likely the second printing, was packed by me. So when you get your book in the mail, I'm the one who put it in the bag and board. I signed it, I bagged it, I boarded it, I put the cards in there, I put the bookmarks in there, and then I boxed it and taped it for you. So, and I wrote your name on the outside so my wife would know what mailing label to put on it with your backer number. So that's me. Every single bit of that is me. So yeah, that's the goal. And that's what, who knows, where this book will be, published in the future, or what life it will have in the future. But this moment right here, where it's being created in this amazing independent space, in very small numbers, is something I would encourage everybody to jump on. Because there's this tendency that, there's this weird thing that happens in life, to where if something of quality is made, and it's not made in large numbers, it's going to be something that is valuable in the future, and something that is going to be hard to find. And for me, I have a tendency to keep all of my books. I'm not a speculator in that sense. I tend to collect things. But if you're the kind of person who likes to have your copy of the book, your copy of the comic, that's one of the most amazing things about building your library, then you don't want to miss these opportunities, because these are rare. And for now, the Second Chance campaign might be the last time this book gets printed. You never know. I hope it's not the case. I hope it's a smashing success, but it's certainly the last time it's going to be printed for a while. Admiral Wackass says, it is a It is a fantastic book. Nosfero and Lost Pages 3 were easily my favorite books of this year. Oh, thank you, Admiral. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Cranberry Langer says, sorry, my nose is a little bit allergy today. Thank you. I appreciate your paper cuts and carpal tunnel, Shanth. You're very welcome, Cranberry Langers. And Hey Admiral says Simply Green. Yeah, I mean, I love my comics. I love the comics that I buy. I mean, I have my little short box over there filled with comics that are important to me. I do love those giant collected omnibus, though, I'll be honest with you. I like the paper quality and all of that stuff, but I love having books in my library that I have a connection with. And that's what makes it so fun. Let me see here. Let me see. Oh, we got one from Doc Brewski. Sorry, my glasses are falling. All my comics are readers. Yep, I understand those who keep them pristine, but that's no fun for me. I 100% know what you mean. I remember thinking about that. I remember thinking, because someone asked me that back in the days of collecting. They go, well, you want to make sure you keep your comic mint. And I was thinking to myself, I want to read this. This is mine. I got this. And I think it's great that people save these things so that they can be bought in pristine condition and, preserved for later. But I got to be honest with you guys. I love reading comics. I love reading my comic books. Sorry, I'm going to move this mic. Sorry for the sound. Apologies, guys. But I love reading comic books, and I love making comic books, and I love handcrafting comic books, and I loved everything about learning the shipping process for an 8.5 by 11 Nosfero. For those of you guys who have it, it's larger than a regular comic book size, and it's on very heavy paper. So it's made to be enjoyable to hold, and made to be something that you kind of get to savor and spend time with. And I want every single story I do to be something that comes to a positive, uplifting, but also not saccharine, something that's meaningful end. And that's why, the title for the first Nosfero book is Nosfero the Crypt Walker. And the idea is let's create something that feels exciting and feels like it's got some weight to it with the character. That was my big plan for Nosfero. But when you get to book 2, which is going to be called Nosfero Death Will Die, Like, just that idea of that title, Death Will Die. I mean, that's what it's about. You know, that when you guys get Nosfero the Crypt Walker, those of you who haven't got it yet, and for those of you guys who are just waiting for the art edition or just want a second edition so that you can get the new piece that's going to be in the second printing, but when you guys get it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Lovingly created from me to you. So let's see what we got here. Admiral Wackass says, I have normally have an extra copies and covers. I don't read too much, but I totally read them all whenever I want. That's right, if I want. Yeah, do not understand slabbing and grading personally. It's not my thing, but I know some people love it. Maybe that's how these things survive into the future. I've framed one. Probably look at framing that triple cover. Rest are readers, not interested in slabbing. Yep, that's kind of how I am with these things. I have some very well-loved comics in this house. They would not fetch a high price on eBay, but as far as I'm concerned, they are still priceless. And yeah, Nosfero, I just remember I have many worn out copies of Dave Stevens' 8.5 by 11 Rocketeer in this room. And when I look at those books, I have the IDW, remastered beautifully with the colors of Laura Martin. I have all those editions of the book, but those editions that I got in college, those are priceless to me. And I have those right next to me at all times. And that's what I really wanted to do with Nosfero. I wanted to be able to do something like that. When I saw that book in college, when I saw The Rocketeer in college, it was just a dream, It was just a hope that it awakened that one day I would be able to do something that was as beautifully, put together as that book. I won't say as beautifully illustrated because Dave Stevens is too special to me, to put it simply. But I did think to myself, can you imagine? And along the way, before Comicsgate, there were so many opportunities. And I can't outdo my wife's intro in that book. My wife's intro in Nosfero is one of the most incredible things I think I've ever read. I mean, it hit me like a ton of bricks. But comics was just something in me that would not go away no matter how I tried to do. And you have to do these things, the responsible things as a parent. People would say, look at your work. You should be, you should do some comics. You should do this. And I go, there's no money in comics. I have a family to take care of. And the kinds of things I want to do in comics are not the kinds of things I can do. And Comicsgate gave me that opportunity. Comicsgate gave me the opportunity to do a book the way that I've always wanted to do a book, and I could have never dreamed would be possible. And it happened. You guys made it happen. And that's incredibly overwhelming to me. And I cannot tell you just how grateful I am that this has been possible and that this continues to be possible. So I thank you guys, as always, for your support and for being here on this channel. And I'm going to work as tirelessly as I've been working to try to make beauty something that we have access to. People making beautiful work, hand-done work with the skills that, that we need to revive. We need to bring craftsmanship back. We need to bring skill back. We need to bring competency back. These are all important things. And it's really a pleasure to be surrounded by so many creators and fans who are committed to that. And I'm just, right now, I'm just in the, just the joy of the possibilities. The possibilities seem endless to me. So for those of you guys who missed it, this past Sunday, one of the reasons I wasn't on Kings is I had so much stuff going on and I was a little bit wiped out. But I spent Sunday afternoon on the stream that with Ethan launching Rainbow the Brute, that figure. Now, I remember when Ethan was talking about that, the idea for an action figure for that back in, I don't even know how far back that was, 6 or so years ago, maybe more. Time is, as you guys know, the older you get, the more time's a blur. And I remember him talking about that. And for everybody who's been kind of wondering, like, are people still as passionate in this space for independent creations and independent art? That thing took off like a rocket. People were so excited, and I think it was shocking to a lot of people. And it was shocking. I wouldn't say I was totally shocked. Like, it's weird. I was thrilled but not surprised. But I just was sitting here thinking, this is nuts. If you had told that to any of us, right, 10 or 20 years ago, hey, you're going to be able to crowdfund action figures, let alone comics, at least for me, 15 years ago, I wasn't even thinking such a thing would be possible. Going to go straight to the audience. You're going to be able to have a 24-hour a day, 7-day a week, 365-day a year convention to talk about art and monster movies and action figures and all the great stuff. Like when I was on the stream with Graham and we were talking monsters and Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman. All this stuff is so exciting. If someone had told me this, I would have gone, there's no way, you're crazy. That's a pipe dream. And here we are. And I felt that so profoundly on Sunday. And I'm feeling this with the trailer that just dropped for Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex 3. The link for that is also in the description. If you haven't signed up yet for it, do. But, that's a guy I can send boxing clips to. Or, oh, have you seen this new kaiju movie or statue or whatever? I don't know. It's just too fun being here. And you guys do that in the chat. You guys recommend movies and books and things you're checking out all the time. And it's almost like, I don't know. It's just such an incredible place to be where people who are really passionate about this stuff, who've always been there, come together to support the individual making work. Because the resources of doing this and the amount of time and effort is so demanding of us as creators. The money, the time, because the time is a major factor. We can't do this stuff without you guys, and we need as much support as you guys have to give, and we are 100% grateful for that. And I am really grateful. I'm just overwhelmed, I guess I would say today when I look at that book. Overwhelmed. Comrade Sammy, it's great to see you. How are you doing? It was a very good intro. It stood out as much as the book itself, to be honest. Yes, it was a great intro. 100%. Yeah, her intro was dynamite. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Jordan, I agree. It was very moving. Yeah, I mean, imagine reading that. But she's like, I want you to read it. And I'm like, Au revoir. All right, take care, my friend. Have a good one. Let me see here. I'm framed. Okay, good. I'm caught up. Good, just making sure. Yeah, I mean, it was wild. I will say it was a wild read for me. And, that I don't even know what to say. And I'm not emotional at all, though I am taking off my glasses. I'm like going, and now I'm going to take off my glasses. Should I take some Visine and put some Visine in my eyes and just kind of go, oh. But I just realized I put my thumb on my glasses so I can't see anything. But it was just so... It's very weird. It was like a bunch of different things coming together, and she wrote the perfect intro for that book. I can't imagine a more fitting intro for that book, and I wanted my best friend in the whole world and my wife and the person who I create everything with and who met me when I was in college and I was, 19 years old. She met me and I'm like, I want to be, and she wrote this in the thing, I want to be a comic book artist, and she signed on for that. I mean... That's a lot. I'm going to marry an artist. And on top of that, if that wasn't good/bad enough, when I met her father, he was the same way. And I tell you, the faith of the people close to you when you're undertaking something like this is the foundation on which you build everything else. And you guys who have backed this book and backed the other stuff I'm doing, I mean, it makes me smile when I see, the trailers that I'll do, if I do a trailer for Art Thibert or, just doing trailers to promote people's books, or when I go on, I'm genuinely happy when good things happen for other people. It's invigorating to me. And maybe I'm going to get a little bit better at receiving from you guys the support I have from my channel members. I remember the first time I got a super chat, I was trying to explain it to my wife, and even I couldn't explain it, So to now have channel members and be updating those credits and to look at how many people back Nosfero and are posting pictures of it on Twitter. I mean, guys, I'm at a point in my life that I know many of us know and some of us have passed where we just kind of look around and we're kind of thinking, well, this is, for me at least, I'm like, I'm happy with what I got. I'm still alive. This is cool. And, you know, I had things I wanted to do, but the idea of finding so many kindred spirits and so many people with things in common, I tell you this right now. I said this to the missus the other day. I don't know how many weeks ago it was. Everything's always a blur. But especially with, you know, with the kids and the family and all of the stuff going on. But I was on a stream with Shane Davis and John Malin, I think. And it was one of those into the morning streams. And I was laughing so hard I couldn't breathe. And you guys know me. It's not like I'm the most difficult person to get laughing, but what I find more difficult is to try to get myself to stop. And you might think when you watch these streams that I'm on that, and hail Bretsky, it's great to see you, my friend. Yeah, she wanted that artist money, Maromi. You're right, she was. Yeah, she should have taken a basic financial literacy class if that was the case, right? But I was on a stream, and this is the crazy thing. You guys probably see me laugh a lot on these streams. And you've seen me laugh when I'm on shows. That stuff is sincere. What you don't know is that I'm actually, I actually have never, it's hard to get me to laugh and to, like, really have a good time doing something. It really is, because I'm not someone who goes out. I'm an introvert and all that kind of thing. And I said to my wife, I go, hanging out with these guys, hanging out with Shane had me dying this one time. I forget what he said, but God only knows. And I said to Lauren, I go, it's like the best laughs that I've had. It's those kind of laughs, you know. They're just good times, and I'm just like, I don't even know. I mean, it's hard to describe, and so we have this kind of there's this amazing thing that's going on for me. And the great thing about being this age is my eyes are wide open. I've seen enough to have that naivete kicked out of me. You know, it's the way things go. But it hasn't stopped me from opening the door to new opportunities. And if I had not done that, if I had not come into this space, that would have been a tragedy. And I'm so glad I met all of you guys. I'm so glad I'm doing this right now, and I'm so glad we're here together. So thank you guys. Thank you guys. Uh-oh, is it buffering? Sorry, guys. I don't know if something's on. Hopefully it's not buffering too much. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything new on or anything streaming. So it could just be the weather or the internet, so we'll see. Let me know if it improves. So any updates on your McFarlane-esque comic book project? Yeah, I'm still working on that. So yeah, that is one of horror's heroes. So I was working on the script of that and doing layouts on that 2 weeks ago. It's coming together wonderfully. I'm understanding where the characters are going to go. That might be, I don't know. It's tough to say right now. I'm kind of just seeing where things go, but it is being worked on and it is being done. And that is, of course, Springball Terminal Monstrosity. Springball Terminal Monstrosity is definitely underway. I reworked a ton of backgrounds, a ton of compositions. The script is being reworked. I even created a font for it. So it's coming along great. Uh-oh. Is it still... Am I still there? Yeah, buffering is happening a lot. Yeah. Seems better now. Okay. Well, we'll see. Hopefully it'll improve. I think I have the Wi-Fi off on everything, but let me just double check. Sometimes my phone does strange things, so you never know. Okay, yeah, all of my Wi-Fi on my phones and things are off. So it's probably just our internet connection. I think the printer wouldn't probably be a factor anyway, because we were printing some labels today, so you never know. But it's not on, so who knows? You know, the missus says it's not on, so you never know. Sometimes I think it's just the Wi-Fi in this area, because we have, you know, I have a great router. I've got everything cleared up, so we'll just see. We'll keep chugging along, and see where it goes. We'll drive this thing till the wheels fall off, as they say. But yeah, Springball is a really beautiful story, and here's the funny thing. So I started writing Springball, obviously, came out in 2002, and I started coming up with that idea and working on that story. I was, you know, in my early 20s, I think, at the time I was doing that. And now, at this point, maybe my mid-20s, and now I'm in my mid-40s. And that's the craziest thing about it. So things that I was touching upon in it, and levels of skill that I had at the time, which were not where I am now, I found myself going back and looking at it and going, well, there's an actual story here to tell. I want to go in and I want to rework this. I want to make this work. Obviously, it was a very different time. Just the technology that you see in some of the panels, I was laughing at, what computers used to look like. But it's, it's definitely, the story has deepened, and the relationship between the characters has deepened as well. So yeah, I know what that story is now, and I'm very excited by it. Yeah, I was reworking some faces, putting in new detail just the other day. It's so wild you would ask about that. Hail, Henry, how are you doing, my friend? It's great to see you. I hope you are well. Better now, great words. Okay, by the way, thank you so much. I am so excited. I am so excited about the stuff that we're doing here in CG. And, I want to do this very particular, what I'm going to think of as Lovecraftian heroes. But my nights have been thinking about this, the direction of this channel, which I feel like I'm finally getting a handle on things. I mean, it's not like there's a massive change to come. It's more of a, you step back and look at what you're doing, much like I'm doing with Nosfero, and you see it for the first time. And, oh, excellent. Well, congratulations on a work day. Well done, Henry. And I hope you're having a great day. The thing for me is that it all becomes apparent. It's like when you work on something or you look back on your life, it almost looks like it was being guided by somebody who had a sense of where it was going. That's what I've been feeling with this book and with this channel. So Springball was never going to be worked on again. And when Comicsgate started, I'm like, I'm not that artist anymore. I don't know what I want to do with that, or if I'd even want to do anything with it. I've got this story to tell with Nosfero. And as chance would have it, some of the big fans of that work and that book here in this space were like, you're crazy not to do anything with this. And there's the quote that I love that explains why Springball will happen at some point. And I truly think this is the best quote, and unfortunately a quote that people misquote so often, which is, the customer is always right, ... in matters of taste. If you let that guide you, you're going to be in a much better space. It takes a certain amount of money to do things. It takes a certain amount of commitment. And if there's no desire for the things that you're doing or the work that you're doing, or it's not financially possible, then things aren't going to happen. But if people want to give you money for something in the amounts required to do it, who are you to question their taste? And if people are excited to see Springball and they want me to do something with it, that's all I need to know, because that's what we're here for. So yeah, that's what's been so rewarding about being in the space. And I think we saw that with the campaign launch on Sunday, and I think there's many more campaign launches to show that you guys were trying to tell people for so long, and this is true of anybody in any audience. This is what we want to see, or thinking of. There was something you wanted to see that wasn't being done. And when you see it done and you come out to support it in the numbers that you guys have been doing, we can do anything. We can do anything with this work. We can do anything with what we're doing. And I don't know, I've been so invigorated lately. I've been so excited. There you go. There you go. Look at everybody saying hello, hello. Yes, indeed. Yeah, always, often, and always. 100%. Admiral saying hello to folks. Yeah. I mean, you channel members, you guys help keep the lights on. You backers help make these books possible. And it was a massive financial investment. And the Second Chance campaign being a success is essential for us going forward. That's how we have to do it. So I knew it was going to be tough to get that first book launched. It was going to take a lot of time. I closed the book, or I should say I shipped off the last book 1 year after I closed the campaign. So that means getting the book printed, getting those numbers locked down. So that's a year without any of the Indiegogo revenue coming in, with just YouTube as a resource and then freelance and commission work. So that is a very big sacrifice. But for my first book, And maybe it's foolish to do. I would never say this is how people should do things. People know what their needs are, and I certainly am aware of that with mine. But I wanted to make sure I got that first book out there before I launched the second campaign. Not because I think that's how it should always be done. I'm not here to tell other people how to do anything. But for me, I had never done a painted comic book before. I'd done comics before, but I'd never done something fully painted, and I knew that I would get some fantastic maniacs to be excited about the book. But you guys are backers. You're not customers. You're really, you're putting yourselves out there for the hopes a book gets made. So I think that, like, to me, I would never doubt that I'd finish it unless I got hit by a bus. But that's the way it works for me. I was always going to get done, but you don't know that. So now people are seeing Nosfero come out and they're going, oh, wow, there is a comic. But you guys are the ones who get that first printing at the price you get it at. Do you see what I mean? That's the fun thing about it, is people are seeing it, oh, holy cow. But to me, it makes sense that people would miss it because they wouldn't be sure if it's happening. It's a fully painted comic book. You guys are maniacs. Time to drive. All right, my friend. Have a good evening and have a safe drive, Henry. Hail, folks, says Mechanoid. Mechanoid? Is that how I'm supposed to say that? I feel like I'm saying it wrong. 1 hour left for me at work. Oh, understood, Spaceman. I see you. Yep. But I don't think I want to taste you. But you understand the taste factor. Fair enough. I understand, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. I understand. Yeah, I mean, I saw one of the coolest things I've seen lately, and I'm forgetting the artist's name, and I have a feeling that you guys in the chat probably know the artist's name because he's done a lot of work. But there's a painted cover for Fearsome by Ethan Van Sciver, David Williams, Jason Wright, and Eric Weathers, of course. And Ethan commissioned a friend of his, who I think he's known for some time, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. To do a painted cover for Fearsome, and I think it's magnificent. I think it's a absolutely breathtaking painting from one painter to another. I tip my cap. And a tip of the hat, that's absolutely right. Mechanoid, absolutely right. But I tip my hat to that artist. Just incredible stuff. An incredible image that, to me, really resonated with me. I felt like I grasped that character in a different way when I saw it, it's an impressive thing for an artist to do. So yeah, Tim Smith's laughing. Yeah, indeed. I loved that piece. I think it's fantastic, but I've seen so many things that have been like that. I love the triple cover. There's a panel that I was talking to Shane about from Inglorious Rex, where it's just, one of those panels that he does where you've got Alex and he's standing there in front of 232, and the scale becomes apparent to you. The scale of the kaiju versus a human being scale. It's something that they played with very deftly in Attack on Titan. They played with it, in a lot of these movies where we have more special effects. But in comics, to see someone who has such a drive as an artist to fully realize and render these things, it's breathtaking to see that subject matter being tackled in that way. And Shane is doing some dynamite work on that. So that's the stuff that gets me up in the morning. That and you guys and the laughs we have. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a beautiful painting, is it not? It's a breathtaking painting. And it's strange because, sometimes I think that's one of the real perks, if I may say, of doing characters that haven't been illustrated and drawn a million times. There's something great about being able to bring something fresh to a fresh IP or a fresh property, or how I like to refer to them, a fresh story. That's the joy of independent work. I mean, when I was working on the painting I did for Razor Fist for Ghost of the Badlands, it was a blast because I was looking at a character that I haven't seen painted 1,000 times or drawn 1,000 times by other people. And I was doing a Western painting for a comic. That is my first illustration job that was a Western, I think. Almost 100% positive that's true. And certainly was my first comic book based work of a Western. So that was a blast to do. So I'm seeing some of these. Andrew Robinson, thank you, Mr. Monkey Boy 1969. Andrew Robinson was the person who did the painted cover. Gorgeous work. Absolutely gorgeous work. Fantastic color theory. Great form language in it. Just wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I'm in Comicsgate for a million and one reasons, but one of them is, one of the biggest ones is to be around people who understand this thing we do of making artwork and trying to do something that is aesthetic, that wakes people up as opposed to anesthetic and puts people to sleep with a lecture or something like that. We're looking to create fun stuff. What Frazetta did for me, you know, what that work does, what Alphonse Mucha's breathtaking work, he's a huge influence on me, does. And that's the stuff that I want to be surrounded by. And whether it's, you know, the old Universal horror movies or, you know, the Hammer horror movies and Jack Asher's breathtaking lighting work that he did, that's the stuff that excites me, and that's why you see the colors you see here, and it's all of the things that I think are timeless and universal aesthetic principles that make for a compelling experience and a worthy use of your time and money. And that's what we're trying to make here, guys. And that's what I gotta stop saying trying. That's what we're making here, because it's been made. I don't think it's set in yet that Nosfero is is shipped. I haven't gotten there yet. So I'm gonna be doing a video soon on I want to do a video where it's a spoiler video where I talk about what my thought process was, what my creative process was of making the book in anticipation of the launch of the Second Chance campaign for it. And you know, just to be able to go through the book, I was reading it again yesterday. I was reading a couple of sequences from it, and I could just sort of remember what I was thinking at the time, but I had forgotten writing them, which is, you know, it's unreal. It's one of those things that happens when you're an artist. You got so many things you've got in your head that you're trying to make. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. I think one of the biggest jobs of this channel and one of the biggest jobs of what I'm doing going forward is just to get more eyes on this stuff. Because when people see the book, they get it. They understand what it is and what it's about. And a lot of people, I absolutely, you know, sympathize with people who are like, oh man, I missed this. I had no idea. That's why the Second Chance campaign is my next campaign. I've been there. I've been exactly where you are with that stuff. Because it is tough to get the word out. We don't have, the biggest, megaphones in the world, but we do great with what we have. Sorry, let me move this camera up a little bit here. There we go. Well, hello there, says Michael Bancroft. It's great to see you. Channel member, brother from down under, Michael Bancroft of the Lucent 2 Painted Death. The link is in the description. And if you would like to get a puzzle of one of my most complicated and puzzling paintings, you can get it on his site, as well as, I believe, the painting is going to be included in the book, the Lucent 2 Painted Death. So do check it out. Yeah, well, you've been shipping for a while. Hard to switch gears in your brain. You're right. You're right. Can I say this? I know that fulfillment can be exhausting, but I'm one of those sick weirdos who likes organizing and cleaning sometimes. It's one of those things I enjoy. That's why you see me doing so many graphic design, things for the site and updating videos and all of that stuff. And I really loved it. I loved, putting the care into every single package I sent out. And I was 100% committed to being in that space. It made it hard to paint, honestly, because I really needed to be in that space, and I enjoyed being in that space. So now that I'm done, I'm just kind of getting to celebrate a little bit the tremendous amount of work that went into that project. I mean, there's this incredibly fulfilling sense of accomplishment when it comes to it. What's up, yo? My brother Rocky is here. It's good to see you, my friend. Oh, I zoomed way in, no wonder. I'm like, oh, why can't I see this piece here? And then I'm like, oh, I zoomed way in. It is great to see you, Rock, and it is awesome to see you, Michael. Man, I tell you what, man, Rocky, I've known you for 30 years, and I feel like I still keep learning new things about you, brother. It's great to see you. Good day, says Cranberry Landers. Katie says, hey, y'all. Hey, Katie, it's good to see you. And I hope you guys are all doing well. Make sure you hit that like. Make sure that you are subscribed. The craziest thing about this is, I don't know, how any of this stuff works, but I was laughing. When you wake up in the morning, and I'm, like, teetering on this one edge, and I have, 1,000... 1,000.43 subscribers. And it's been bouncing back and forth between 4 and 3, and I just crack up every time I see it. I'm just like going, it just keeps teetering. It did that for a while on certain numbers, but it's been cracking me up, man. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you like the stream, and make sure that you click that bell for notifications, because that's how YouTube decides what people are really interested in and how to get it out there. So I appreciate all of the help you guys can lend me. And if I haven't said it this stream enough, let me say it again. I am so grateful to Comicsgate for this opportunity, and I'm so grateful for this audience of, passionate, hardworking people who are invested in seeing these things get made, who are connoisseurs of, this art form. And we really do try to make it, and take it to that level of it being an art form. That's what motivates me. I mean, it's like I said, every single aspect of this book, with the exception of letters and printing the mailing labels, I did. So, and I can tell you I have a very good grasp of what's involved in it. And I get why it's difficult sometimes for people to, even do this kind of work. I can appreciate how difficult it is. But I've now shipped on Indiegogo. I have funded and shipped 2 art books, starting in 2018, and then I think the follow-up was 2019. And as of now, a 3rd book from Shanth Enjeti Art's been shipped, and that is my first fully painted comic book, Nosfero the Crypt Walker. And the Second Chance campaign will be launching August 20th on H.P. Lovecraft's birthday. And it's going to have an opportunity, if you have the money, to get a first printing, or to get that's going to be signed. The first printings are all signed. Second printing of the book that's going to have a special new piece of artwork for the start of the page. And then, in addition to that, the first printing of the art-only edition. So if you've ever wanted to pour over these paintings and just have the word balloons be lifted off of the page, there's going to be an art edition of this book that will not have the text in it. And it will have, some of the behind-the-scenes sketches in it and all of that stuff. But that's going to be a first signed printing of that book. And while I don't know when I'm going to ever, or when I'm going to, if ever I'm going to print a second or a third printing of book 1. So now is your chance. Make sure you are signed up for that. Make sure you're following. You ring the bell so you know that book's launching. And when that book is printed, it's going to be a while before I think about reprinting that volume. But in addition to that, I don't know if I'll ever print the art edition again after this. So this might be your chance. Hail, wielders of the wrench. Hail to you, Crenshaw FAO. It's great to see you. Where is Shane Davis, says Wodenshot. Wodenshot, it is so great to see you, man. How are you doing? Oh, my gosh. I was just talking, walking my puppet listing. Amen, Mark. So glad to see you here, man. And so glad to have you here, brother. The thing about it is that Wodenshot may have also been involved in some of those streams I've been talking about that it's so wonderful to laugh and not be able to stop. And you guys have cracked me up on so many of those streams. Oh my God. I don't know. Sometimes it's just the chemistry. I get people around me sometimes who just know how to crack me up, and I never see it coming. God, I have laughed I've not laughed that hard in a long time, and it feels great because laughter is the fuel for so much of what we do here. It makes everything seem possible and bearable, just like, beauty and artwork and positivity. And yeah, I have definitely, one of the biggest reasons I'm here and one of the biggest reasons I ended up in this space was watching streams and laughing my head off. And it was so great. It's a very strange thing, because to now it's funny when I see YouTube, when I open up YouTube, I see work, Agreed, especially when it's at Shane's expense, says Wodenshot. Got to upload my new short review, then I'll be back. Understood, Crenshaw. Understood. Yeah, it is, just laughing about the state of Star Wars was where this all started for me. That was a big thing. So it's I'm so grateful for it. If you could say which Lovecraft book your first Nosfero book is closest to, Wow. That's great. Which would you say? That's a great question. I have to think on that. This is going to sound odd, but it's true. The Lovecraft book that I listened to the most to get into the vibe of Nosfero is The Nameless City. The Nameless City is the biggest connection. That's why there's a quote from The Nameless City in Nosfero, the Crypt Walker, the first book. So yeah, The Nameless City, 100%. It's a cross between The Nameless City and F.W. Murnau's Nosferatu, and gosh, what else? Trying to think of what else. John Milius's Conan, the movie, and some Solomon Kane. But I mean, I'd honestly say it's The Phantom meets John Milius's Conan the Barbarian meets Nosferatu meets The Nameless City. That would be my book for sure that influenced it. Let's see. Yep. Hey, Cranberry Langer says Woden Shot. And hello, Woden Shot. And then it's weird because that's a really good question. That's just a really good question. Yeah. It's got me, because I'm now thinking, okay, so if there is a book, here's the next bit of it. Yeah, cue Jeopardy music. And R.I.P. Alex Trebek. God bless you. And Godspeed. If there's a book Nosfero is based on, though, that's more than Lovecraft, and the whole world, like the flavor of Nosfero, but the biggest influence on Nosfero book-wise is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula is the greatest horror book ever written, period. No qualifiers. I really appreciate Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Bram Stoker's Dracula is better. It's a absolutely incredible book, and that's saying something, because I have a tremendous amount of respect for Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Tremendous amount of respect for it. But Dracula gives you gothic romance. It gives you an uplifting ending that is both... The worst thing about, quote, Bram Stoker's Dracula, which is really Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula, is it robs you of the ending of the book and the triumph of good over evil. It's almost like, well, evil was kind of good and whatever. And that the final passages of Dracula are incredibly powerful. I've got the complete works of Shakespeare, the Holy Bible, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow, and Dracula, and also another one of my favorite books, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So I've got Dickens and Shakespeare. I've got the Bible. I've got, I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Shame on me. Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Why am I blanking on this? Shoot. What is wrong with me? By Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Somebody help this help this brain shutting down. How am I not remembering this? Oh my god, I must be tired. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow by... I can't believe I'm blanking on this. It'll come to me. Bram Stoker's Dracula, like those works. Washington Irving. The missus just got it for me. Thank God. Yeah, Washington Irving. Thank you. So one of my favorite books to listen to around Halloween time, and just to listen to, I listened to it last night when I was, as I was going to bed. I put on some headphones and fell asleep to Washington Irving's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I love that book so much. It's great. It's such a fantastic... If you've never listened to the actual book, it's hilarious and biting, particularly if you know the Northeast. It's making all kinds of witty stuff. Washington Irving, thank you guys. I knew you guys would come to the rescue. Yes, indeed. Yeah, those are the books that I have right there. Those are the books that are really important to me. And, Dr. Renfield in my Renfield trilogy is the son of R.M. Renfield in Stoker's Dracula, set in Chicago in 1932. Excellent time period, by the way, to pick. Yeah, you little Dickens. Yeah, I love... Charles Dickens is incredible. Charles Dickens wrote a work so powerful that it turned Christmas into the holiday that it is today in terms of the idea of charity, the idea of all of that stuff. It kind of made it its own entity in terms of the modern understanding of it. And it's weird to think of the fact that it's a haunted ghost story. He wrote a Christmas ghost story. It's so good. I can't even... It's to me, he's in his own... As an author, he occupies his own space. He's just incredible. Finally, I have lived to see Shanth not be able to paint and talk at the same time. He is human after all, you're right. Yes, Nosfero is Twilight meets the Bible. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, my daughter was actually watching one of those films the other day. That just cracks me up. I don't know why. But yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I can barely sit and talk right now, but I was saying before to my missus, I said, I have got to stream. I've got to stream. I've been doing all of this work to enhance the credits and the opening titles. I just announced that Nosfero's Second Chance campaign, sign up now. It is launching on H.P. Lovecraft's birthday, August 20th. Be there for it. If you miss it this time, there's not much I'm going to be able to do for you. You're going to have to grab it on the secondary market. So somebody is going to have to make sure that they order a lot of copies of that book for if other people miss it. Because I just want to make sure that I want to put some other stuff out there too. But Nosfero is obviously my priority. But I want to work on the Nosfero 2 campaign once I get that taken care of. So that's going to be the next thing for me that we're doing after that. But yeah, I've got lots of ideas. And I want to see that art edition book. So many of you guys have been asking for an edition where you've just got the paintings so you can just sort of sit back, thumb through them. And yeah, there are more. There's more to those paintings behind those word balloons, because that's just how I compose. I need to do the painting inside of that rectangle. And even when I'm thinking about word balloons, I want to paint behind it just so I can resolve it in my head. So yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, guys, it's happening. Thank you, Wonshot. I appreciate it. Yo. So Curialt. Gosh, I can... In one. I hope I'm saying it right. Question, is that a building? I don't know which... Oh, wait. What he's standing on here, or what I'm working on back here? Let me know. Let me know which one you're asking about. There we go. And I'll walk you through it. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. I was working on another story the other night because I do stuff to wind down. Weirdly, I make artwork to relax in addition to the jobs I'm doing. So I was working on this, which is another one of the Shanth Enjeti art, Heroes of Horror world that I make, which is the monster rat kin of Cthulhu. So that's been something I've been sketching on and working on in paint. And there you go. There's the hand-lettered title. So these are the things I do to stay sharp. And then in addition to that, of course, I am starting to wrap up the work on one of my latest favorite paintings, which is the painting I'm doing for the Battle Brick Road 2 print book. The link for that is in the description. And really getting both the scale and the height of these characters doing battle. And this one is called The Rise of the Valkyrie, with, of course, the lovely Thea with the flying monkey wings behind her, looking quite the Valkyrie. So if you have not backed Battle Brick Road 2, then get in there and get on it and get that print set. Because that print set, I do not know how many of those Eric is going to make. So if you miss this, it might be you're missing the first time I have an 11x17 print of this work made. So make sure you get in there and back it. Oh, wow, that's crazy. I never even thought about that, but that's so cool. Yeah, this looks so dope. Brings me back to Redwall. Wow, that's wild. But obviously with the Lovecraft influence. Wow, I didn't even think about it. You know what I was thinking about when I was working on it? It's funny you bring that up. Was The Secret of Nim. And of course, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mirage comics. But The Secret of NIMH is just an incredible movie. You know, so that story is the Dunwich Horror meets The Secret of NIMH meets Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that would be how I think about that story. And yeah, it's weird, man. Guys, I have loved Halloween and horror movie stuff forever, and I am so glad I found all of you who are lunatics and love comics and love painted stuff and love the idea of you know, strong heroes facing down evil like Abraham Van Helsing with, you know, their faith and their wits and occasionally, in Nosfero's case, some otherworldly powers. And that's what makes this stuff so cool and so exciting and makes it a thrill to both go to bed in the morning and also wake up in the morning. Unfortunately, my sleeping has not improved. No, Rocky, no. And if Eric Weathers sees this, he is not going to be happy. There, I said it. The big monster reminds me of some of Bill Watterson's monsters, actually. Oh, that's so cool. Probably a similar inspiration. Yeah, I mean, Bill Watterson, talk about somebody who could draw in cartoon. My God. Yeah. Just make it with the whole pizza package, fancy pants. I've got you covered, Mark. Mark, you want to hear something? I know you know this, so I know I'm not telling you something you don't know. The entire pressure of the Second Chance campaign is absolutely me thinking, how much longer am I going to make Mark wait to back Nosfero? I felt so bad that you got in after that campaign closed, man. I mean, it was right after. I closed that campaign about a year ago, and you've been a channel member for 10 months. I mean, by the skin of your teeth, you just missed that like, just so much. So, Mark, this one's for you. August 20th is for you, my brother. Because, look, guys, as Shane Davis would say, not gonna lie, this is the best thing I've ever made, art-wise. Period. Full stop. This is the best thing I have ever made. I am so proud of this book. The amount of craftsmanship that went into it, paper selection, looking at, you know, the proofs and doing a second proof to make sure the colors were there. I wanted you guys to have something beautiful to bring into your home. And I really do care about Comicsgate a lot. And I care about my artwork a lot. This is a 40, almost 48-year journey for me as an artist. I've worked in video game concept design. I've worked on, you know, things like the trading card game for the Harry Potter game. I've lectured about my character design, you know, concepts at MIT and Microsoft and all of these different schools. I've, you know, just done so many things. Concept art for DreamWorks consumer products. I've done a ton of stuff. And of course, self-published my first comic book when I was 14, my second when I was 16, my first indie job when I was 17, and then a few in between on there in 2009. And one of the things that I just keep coming back to is this is the best thing I have ever done. This is the best place that I've ever been in as an artist creatively. It's taken me all this time to be here. And they always say that luck is where preparation meets opportunity, and that's what I would say. I would say Comicsgate is the opportunity of a lifetime. You know, and it's the opportunity of a lifetime, and I am incredibly grateful for it. And for all the time I've been in here, I have given nihilism no quarter, and I have kept it positive and working hard. And I think that to me is, and I mean positive with myself. I've always just felt that sense of gratitude. And when you pour your heart out, as I often do here on these streams, it always helps to receive a member milestone chat from Stephen Rockwood celebrating 21 months with a simple one-word message that I hope we'll all consider on this fine day. And speaking of which, charge! Can't stop, won't stop. Charge! Hail, brother. The first channel member. That is why you will see Stephen Rockwood's name come up in that the credits first. He was the first one in the door, and so many of you guys have been here, especially people like Admiral Wackass and all of you guys who have been here. I thank. And it's funny. No sooner said, and welcome, Art and Times of Jay Ryan. It's great to see you, my friend. How are you doing? Admiral Wackass also celebrating 21 months OG of membership. I think Steven is the only older member than me. Also, titties. Well said, sir. Well said. And now, that doesn't leave me with a lot of options, but, you know. Charge! Because, I mean, I'm required by law, you know. Charge! I tip my cap to you, sir. I tip my cap to you, Admiral. Yes, indeed. Yeah, the channel member number 1 as you as you get to that level. Yeah. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool to see all of you guys. Every time I update the channel members' credits, you know, before I stream, that's one of the coolest things about it. But believe me when I tell you guys, and this paper stock is not glossy. It's and it's not matte. It's this very particular type of finish. But when you guys get this book, do know that it is not possible, period, for me to have gotten the colors closer to the paintings. These are fantastic reproductions, spared believe me, we spared no expense on the printing. That's why we really are looking forward to the Second Chance campaign, and we need your support, because the print quality on this book and the paper stock is second to none, because this is a painted book, and I think this is what it needs. This is what it needed. And you guys can just get up close on these paintings. The art edition is going to be all this, but without the text. So you're going to get to see parts of these paintings that you have not seen before. And that's going to be really exciting. But yeah, I mean, there is so much, you know, love and craftsmanship, down to the point where I put every single backer's comic book in the bag. I bagged and boarded all 660 backers' books. And I boxed all 660 backers books, and I wrote a note of thank you and your name on the outside of the box for all 660 backers. That's the kind of care that we put into this stuff. That's the kind of, like, I have not been able to use my couch or any space. Shanth Enjeti art, here's the secret, I know you guys know it, is essentially like maybe a 9 or 12 by 15 square room in my house. And when I have 800 comic books in here, there is no room. Then I order shipping boxes, and I had to ship them at the rate I did because I couldn't bring more boxes into this room. I couldn't bring more shipping supplies. That's one of the reasons why it was, you know, the way it was. It takes me a while is because I don't have a warehouse. And so I look at this stuff and I go, you guys made this possible. I mean, the colors reproduction on that moon, the color reproduction of all of this stuff has just been, it's incredible to see. And I knew these people were serious. Let me just make sure I read this. I also really like what you did going back over her face and extra time. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Admiral. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, guys. You guys are the best. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's right. That's right. That's what it's all about. It'd be cool to have the word balloons. Oh, God, that's a dream for the future, isn't it? To have the word balloons on a transparent acetate that laid on top of the page. It would be cool, but expensive. Yeah, it'd be really expensive. And the other thing is that I've thought about with that, the main reason why I think it would be expensive is not just the lining up and all the complexity of that, but you'd want to make sure that acetate was acetate that was safe long term. You know what I mean? So that's why I thought when I do the Second Chance campaign, it can't just be the art edition, because some people missed the book itself. So they're going to want to get both. They're going to want to get the art edition, and they're going to want to get the words so they can look at both. And it's a really cool thing about this Comicsgate space. We can imagine things and make it happen. You know, you guys were the ones who were saying to me during the campaign, you got to do an art-only edition. You got to do an art-only edition. That's why it happens. Love and craftsmanship. Freudian slip. You're totally right. I didn't even think about that. Oh my God, that's great. Yeah, you guys have the best ideas. Yeah, he means closet. That's right. Absolutely right. You guys are killing me, man. Oh my Lord. But yeah, seeing things like there's some very subtle colors on this page right here. They reproduced beautifully. They reproduced so well. I cannot tell you how excited I am about how the colors came together. So yeah, the Second Chance campaign, and the second printing of this book will have all of the same care put into it that this campaign had. It's going to be something beautiful, and it's launching on August 20th. The sign-up for it on Indiegogo is in the description. It's the first link, and the same could be said for all of the campaigns I have links to in the description. I'm really excited about Shane Davis's Inglorious Rex 3 as both, a fellow artist and as a fan. I'm excited about Fearsome by David Williams and Ethan Van Sciver. I'm, of course, excited about CYBERFROG by Ethan as well. I'm excited about the Lucent 2 Painted Death, which is the dynamite follow-up. I've seen the art, and it's even changed since I've seen it, for the very first Lucent book by Michael Bancroft. We've got Battle Brick Road 2 to look forward to. The link is in the description. If you missed out on Nosfero, preempt yourself from missing out on any of the great books I have in the description here. You've got Graham Nolan's Joe Frankenstein, which is now being worked on. It's in demand. That means when it closes, it's gone. Make sure you get that. You've got Art Thibert, Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too, which is available. The link for that is in the description. And if you love art books, and if you love arts books, oddly, make sure you back that book. You've got Andy Smith's KOR-DRATH, Book 2. You can also get Book 1 as a part of that campaign. That link is in the description. We are handcrafting comic books, and they're coming directly from us to you. And we're making these things as beautifully as we can. We're making rich stories, beautiful artwork, and it means the world to me that there's a place to do this in. There's colleagues that you can talk to about this craft. And I love being here with you guys and talking about all of these things. And I'm grateful for you guys every single day. Every single day. Yeah, there's just, just the care that goes into this stuff, and you guys supporting these traditions it's overwhelming sometimes. And I'm so fortunate that I have company now when I paint, that I get to hang out with you guys, which is wonderful. Nice. We'll have to make an order. Oh, thank you, Moji. I appreciate that. Yeah. Hyped for KOR-DRATH 1 was really fun. Yep. I've got 3 copies of it. Love that book. Simply Green. I see ideas like that and think of the difficulties and costs. My thought is it should be saved for something special. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. 100% Shelf. I wouldn't mind paying the extra for the acetate. That won't degrade. You're right. Yeah, think about that. But, the ideas start in the chat. Art and Times of J. Ryan. These are great ideas. And I have so many books like that, and they're great. I think if you guys keep making a big noise about all of these things, one day we're going to find ourselves in a place to where what we do is going to be much more manageable distribution-wise as book publishing is. The fact that you have somebody like J.K. Rowling who can write and dedicate her time, and it's incredible work, no matter what, to Harry Potter, and she's not physically responsible for keeping it in print. At some point, that shift is going to happen. And I think that's why these initial copies are going to be something that are real keepsakes. And they're going to be incredibly rare. And people are going to really treasure these books. I still have my first printing of CyberFrog Blood Honey, and so many of these books that have come out from all of these creators that I'm really excited to have. And where it goes from here, that's up to us. That's up to us to get the word out. But already you guys can see this, the buzz and the stuff that you guys are generating for Nosfero. It's overwhelming. When I go to Twitter and somebody goes, I just got my copy of Nosfero, and posts photos of it, it means the world to me. It's incredible. It's overwhelming. And like I said, I've spent my whole life trying to look for people who were not only passionate about this stuff, but other professionals that I could talk to about things. I don't think I had a chance to say this to him yet, but I'll just put this out into the ether in case he catches this later. I just, by chance, happened to be on a stream with Shane Davis when he was talking about how they used to use stamps.com, which was and is a nightmare, and they switched over to using a website called Pirate Ship. And my wife said to me, please say thank you to Shane and Yanzi for introducing us to Pirate Ship, because it has made the shipping so much easier. The stamps.com website would crash. My wife would lose data she had entered. It was so frustrating. And so to talk about things like talking about brushes and paints, it's how we get charged up for what we do. So it's the creators, the fellowship of creators we have here, and then of fans like myself who are here and that's what's so great. Dale A, it's great to see you. Yeah, pirate ship is easy. Yes, love pirate ship. The Shane Davis, amen. Hey, Cranberry Lander, says Moji. Shane just makes up stories. Well, I do like backing his made-up stories. Do you see what I did there, Woden Shot? Yeah, I tell you what, man. I mean, Woden Shot, the amount of joy and laughter you have brought me, and the paintings that you have almost ruined by making me laugh suddenly with soda in my mouth, I am grateful for, my friend. I am grateful for. Oh, my Lord. Oh, my gosh. Woden Shot, were you... I forget if it was you. I think it was you who gave me the nightmare thing when Shane was streaming on Rumble during the channel nightmare that unfolded. Was it you, Woden Shot, who said this happened after Shanth was on the stream? Shanth caused this? That was nightmare fuel. Let me know if that was you. That cracked me up, and I thought, oh my god, that is the worst thought I could have had in my head. But respect. I do respect it. Woden Shot, was that you? I can't remember. I think it was you who said that. I was like, Jesus, why did you put that in my head? Oh my god, that was great. Oh, that cracked me up. But yeah, I mean, you guys are seeing it live. I mean, it's a desk with pens, the occasional prehistoric alligator, and you know, surrounded by all this stuff that we love. You know, and I need Shane because I need to be able to talk combat sports and Godzilla. It's not a lot to ask. And thank you guys for signing up and being prepared to back Inglorious Rex 3. You know, it's crazy. And if you love these streams, and I am so grateful that so many of you guys have been so positive about them, and you want to see more Nosfero, I need your support. I need your support in any way you can to make this stuff happen, because, you know, make no mistake, I love doing this for you guys. I am absolutely committed to this. And Woden Shot says, yes, that was gold. That was hilarious. It totally killed me. Yeah, and combat sports, of course. He put two things I love together. It all worked out, and we had a big laugh over Shane's ordeal, that's right. But man, that was nightmare fuel. Holy cow, was that nightmare fuel. My God. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, Michael Bancroft saying, my glasses just... Or, sorry, my headphones just fell out. I'll be sending the puzzles to be made up later this week, Mark's Music Obsession. Oh my god, that is so cool. Again, more things that only Comicsgate could have made possible. I never would have thought, one, that I would even be doing painted illustration work, but that one of them would be turned into a puzzle. How cool is that? I love it. Mark's Music Obsession. Sweet. Thanks again, Michael, for doing them. Yes, indeed. Yep. Mike has got his head on a swivel, my friends. On a swivel. Yeah, I mean, it's just, we haven't actually had a chance to even talk and hang out in a while, Mike. And I know it's because we've both been, oh my gosh, crazy busy. Me with my kids and graduating and all that stuff, and college coming up and all that. And, you know, you with your kids who are babies at this point. Super young. But, yeah, we have to catch up again soon, man. It's like talk art and talk books. That's what it's about, man. Hey, and Art and Times, J. Ryan, man. I tell you what, you guys give great ideas in the chat. I really do appreciate that idea, Art and Times. Great stuff, Jay. Yep. Ahoy, Admiral, says Dale A. God, man, it's so good to see you guys. Yeah. Very, very excited. And like I said, there's a new, for all of you channel members, I updated the end image on my credits. You know, where I have... Welcome to the Iron Age. And I love that design. It's still a shirt, but I wanted to update that design for it to tie more into the channel members and what they mean to me and who they are and what they're supporting me doing. So keep your eyes out when I play the credits for the very end image of it, because that's something I've been making. And also notice that at the start of the show and in those end credits, it now says Shanth Enjeti art, painting horrors heroes in the heart of Lovecraft Country. Because if I didn't need any more reasons to think that I am very tied to H.P. Lovecraft, as I just mentioned. In addition to the first apartment my wife and I lived in when we just got married, that's being mentioned in passing in H.P. Lovecraft's The Shunned House, our neighborhood where we live is mentioned in passing. Now our house is mentioned, like not our actual house, but the neighborhood our house is in a Lovecraft story. And I just found that out the other day, and I went, are you kidding me? So yeah, we are doing this live from the heart of Lovecraft country, folks. Victoria is 12 going on 17. I have been there. My friend, we really need to catch up. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, indeed. Yep. Absolutely right. Just remember this, and this is, let me give you some advice, okay? As a parent, which I don't normally do. But during those teen years with a daughter, Mike, remember, courage is the key. However, if your wife and your teenage daughter ever get in a fight, just get the hell out of there. Just get out of there as quick as you can. Hop in the car and peel out. There's no shame in it. You have that shirt? Right on. I love that shirt. I wear that shirt all the time. Yeah, I love the Iron Age shirt. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. You never understand me, says Cranberry Landers. He knows. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows what I'm talking about. Yep. Oh, my Lord. Yeah, but I tell you what, as a parent, I can tell you it's all wonderful. It's my favorite job in the whole world, that and the husband gig. I love those two things. So, spending time here with you guys and doing this kind of work, it's because it's something that is incredibly important to me as well. I'm very passionate about what we've been doing in Comicsgate, and I feel like this is going to be a dynamite year. I don't know why, but I just have been. I was thinking that a lot, but it's now even more so. I just think that we've been around for a while, and more of these books, people are getting into them and getting to see them, because it's a lot to start building up a library in any space, and I think that we just have so many things to offer, and it's great. I mean, who knew these things could form organically? That's the biggest thing that I think we always, should remember is that industries did not create these characters and these stories. It's the other way around. The characters and the stories created these industries. And if you have all the industry in the world, but you have no imagination and no discipline to actually make stuff that is entertaining, it doesn't matter how much money you have. But if you have an audience, and you have an audience that's motivated, passionate, and supportive, there is nothing you can't do. And you guys are that audience. Comicsgate is that audience. And I am forever grateful for your boy Zach and John Malin, the first man over the wall. And I am so grateful for Ethan and what he does with Comicsgate Live, what he built there. And I'm so grateful for all of the creators who have taken their time and their imagination, their creativity, and all of the backers over all these years. I've been backing books in this space now for 6 years, and I don't think, wow, that's a lot of something other like work, or wow, I'm like going, wow, isn't that great? Isn't that fun? Isn't that wonderful that this opportunity has been here? And yeah, I'm just incredibly grateful for it. And all of you guys. So thank you so much for being here, guys. Yeah, go down to the old pub instead. Yeah, that's right. Rocky Ballesteros and channel member Simply Green and channel member Rocky Ballesteros saying, Michael Bancroft, it's called The Hurricane Years. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Rock knows too. You can see it coming. You know there's going to be destruction, and it'll be over before you know it. Right on. That's actually incredible advice, Shanth. Admiral, you know what I'm talking about, man. You know what I'm talking about. Oh my Lord. It is crazy. Yeah. We have battened down the hatches, Rocky. Yeah. It feels, I feel good. I feel great. I feel wonderful. Amen, amen, amen. Mark's Music Obsession. I cannot think of a better Way to go with that quote. Yes, Michael Bancroft, Godspeed, indeed, indeed. Yeah, deep cut movie quote. Oh, amen. Amen. And great. I actually did one of those today for somebody, and it's always great when people catch it, man. All right, guys. So we're at, oh my Lord, 2 hours exactly as I say this. And so I'm going to wrap up here. I want you guys to stick around for the new image. I mean, if you wish to see, become a channel member. Get your name in those credits. And if you're a channel member, enjoy the perks of seniority, and as your name either stays at the top or continues to move up. And I want to thank you guys for being here. From the heart of Lovecraft Country, in the birthplace of American religious liberty, my name is Shanth Enjeti. You've been watching Shanth Enjeti Art, and this right here is where we are painting horror's heroes. And this is where they are born. So I thank you, Admiral, as well. I'm trying to keep it parallel to the deck with my arthritic shoulder. But I thank you guys for being here so much. Stay gold, speak easy, keep the faith, and peace be with you. Or as I'm trying to learn how to say, peace be with you. And I will see you guys very, very soon. And for another exciting stream. So enjoy these credits, watch your names, and check out that final image on there. That was crafted because I was just feeling so appreciative of you guys, which is this channel's credo. Take care. I will see all of you guys soon. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and take care. Bye.